I'm doing a session for clients. I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring a session with me, please come visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomclass.com. Okay, so thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you today, and thank you so much for sharing here on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and read your goals out loud, and we will see what's going on here, okay? So you say, Dear Abbey, I was recently visited by what seemed to be a malicious entity when I was just waking up in the morning. It was whispering things in my husband's voice that I know are not true. I was hoping you could look at this entity to see what it is all about. Thank you so much. Oh, man. It's very disoriented for my third eye here in my heart. It's very disorienting. It's really kind of stifling on my throat. Whispering things in your husband's voice that you know are not true. A malicious entity when you're waking up in the morning. All right, let's see what's going on here. See what this malicious entity is all about. Okay. Yeah, already, my gosh. I say, woo, what stinks? Like this. And there's basically there's a dark shadow that is right here. It's all around the left side, and this sort of comes across the nose here, down the face, and then comes around, and then it's just over there, okay? And it has to do, it's this third eye is completely exposed to whatever this black shadow is, okay? And it's trying to separate you from yourself. Because I see now this right side of you is starting to be less tangible, okay? And it's kind of wanting to cloud your judgment as well. Why is it wanting to do that? I'm looking into the heart of this energy to understand what is its feelings for you, okay? I mean, so it's talking in your husband's voice. What are its feelings for you, okay? Doesn't seem to love you. Doesn't seem to care what your feelings are. I mean, it literally is just, all right, when I put my hand into this to explore its emotional dynamic, it doesn't feel like, it feels like emptiness, to be honest. But emptiness can also feel like a sorrow. It feels like loss. It could feel like a depression. It could feel like loneliness. It could feel like anything, you know, like something missing in one's life could feel like emptiness, right? So if this consciousness represents emptiness, it's vibrationally, it literally is empty. There's literally nothing inside of it. But there is something, some level of consciousness, because when I say, so are you the husband? You know, I'm talking the entity as though, you know, maybe it wants to be your husband, you know, maybe it's in love with you. Maybe it's infatuated with you. Who knows, you know? So I'm talking to it like, are you in love, or are you the husband, or what? And it's just nothing echoes back like it cares at all about you. I mean, it doesn't care at all about you, but why would it care about you enough to whisper things like that? Like whisper things, malicious things, saying things that are basically inappropriate, or they're not true, but it's bothering you, you know? You're saying that there's something uncomfortable about this, you're wanting to understand this. It's captured your attention. Why did it want you to hear those things? You see, so I'm trying to understand what its relationship is with you so I can understand why was it drawn to you. And it's empty. I'm just going to go directly into it, and it's a very long ways in, okay? So it looks like, if you could look at an oil spill, it looks like a flat black shadow. But if you go into this shadow, it goes in a very long ways, okay? It could be 1,000,000 miles deep and then look like a completely flat surface. Oh, it's so strange in here. It's a liquid substance, and it moves away from you. So when I move into it, it's like a liquid that doesn't want to be touched, okay? And when I go deeper into it, there's all these like strange like shapes, geometric shapes. And they slowly spin, they make absolutely no noise, but I can see them, and they're in front and back, they're all around, okay? This thing does have a calling, as in, as I go into it, I do see there's something unresolved and it needs support and resolving this. I ask it if it knows what it is, if it knows why it is, if it wants to know what love feels like, if it's not, I say you're not empty. I mean, there's clearly some sort of calling here, some purpose. As I go deeper into your being, I'm experiencing this, like I'm moving towards a girl who's kneeling and praying on some steps in an old church, okay? And she's sort of in a nightgown, and it's like a sleepy time type scene, almost dreamlike. And there's something like it's a combination between what is pure and sacred and what is defilement. And they blend together in a way that creates invisibility. So you could say that, let's just say, you know, the church is pure, is a representation of purity, okay? And this is like Christian, this is like a Christian thing, a Catholic thing. Like there's only ever been and only ever will be purity here. There's never been any wrongdoings ever done by any priest, any children at any time in the history of catechism. You know, like we know that's not true, okay? So it's not being completely honest. It's saying I'm pure, and behind the scenes there's a defilement taking place. So it's representing purity, but hiding the truth that it isn't pure at all. It needs help, actually. This system needs help. Finds it peculiar as I'm evaluating this, talking about it. It's looking to see the scene as I perceive it, okay? It's like listening and thinking about it. So it's starting to have more substance to it. It wants to show me other scenes. And this scene, it shows me the experience of a very large handheld gun. And I can feel it, the nozzle of the gun is literally pushed into my neck, is the back of my neck, and I'm forced to walk, okay? And I'm a man. And this thing is showing me what it's like to literally, when the gun goes off, it's almost like it's decapitating your head from your neck, but not quite. And it's asking me what I think about this. And it shows me the person that holds the gun does not care. Doesn't care. Actually feels like just putting the gun at the back of your neck and walking you, not because it has to, not because it wants something more from you. What it's actually looking forward to is pulling the trigger and blowing your freaking head off your neck. It's looking forward to that. So what is the delay here? The joy of dragging this thing out, you know? It's asking me, what do I think about this? I say, well, what do you think about this? I mean, what do you think about this? Now it shows me an image where a woman now is kneeling, and there are massive, I mean, this seems quite oversized in my opinion, massive handheld guns that are black, okay? There's massive handheld guns. I mean, they have like a nozzle that's the size of a small cannon or something. But there's like 100 of them in a circle around this woman, and they're all pointing at her in every direction, above and along the side, and then even up from below. And she's just kneeling and her eyes are closed, and she's sort of like she's holding on to something like a blanket or stuffed animal or something, but she is not a child. She's more, I don't know, maybe 20s. Let me ask you what I think about this. Again, I say, well, what do you think about this? I mean, what do you think about this? I mean, if you really need me to provide an opinion of some kind, I mean, well, how would it feel to be her? It would feel like you have no choice. You're going to have to just receive what's coming to you, you know? Is it really that bad of a thing to die? Is it bad to die by a gunshot? How about 100 guns pointed at you? How about making you feel worthless and then 100 guns pointed at you to kill you, and you're never really giving breath or a chance to really thrive or live? Because I experienced this woman is downtrodden, was already kind of in the gutter, and now what? Like, this is what she deserves, you know, this is that kind of life, and this is how it ends, seriously. So it's got that emanation to it. I can't see anybody who's actually holding these guns, you know. It's like, so let me see, if I want to be one of the guns, maybe I feel justified in some twisted way blowing somebody's head off because I can, because I like it. I don't know. I mean, what do you want me to say here? Like, these are how I'm evaluating it. Boy, that's a lot of guns. Boy, she looks like pretty downtrodden. Boy, I mean, what do you want me to say? Like, that's all I can tell you. So what do you think about it? Shows me a very large, what is like, you could chop things into slices with this. It's like a kitchen tool, and you could put like maybe a carrot in here and then push this down and then cuts it. I feel like it wants to be called like a cheese grater, but do they have cheese things like this where you could set it in this and then you just pull this down and it makes little individual slices of cheese? But he shows me a human being put in there, and then we shut this, and then the human being then is cut into individual slices. And then shows me that there's something pleasurable about seeing this pain happening. Almost like it's more enjoyable to see, instead of a whole human, to see a human cut into pieces is better. I like the way the human looks better when they're cut into pieces than when they're a whole person. It says, okay. But you understand what that is, right? Like you externally like that. But then when it's you that it's being done to, you're not going to like it. I mean, so why would you want that for anybody else? You need to start working on what it is you're struggling with. You struggle to enjoy what the whole human looks like. And so you need to work on enjoying what the whole human looks like. Because realistically, you don't want to be on that chopping block. Nobody wants to be on that chopping block. Why would anybody want that? For your amusement? Why would anybody want that? So it's not very amusing when it's now being done to you, is it? So this is something we need to work on, right? No wonder there's an attraction to you. It's this sort of, it's almost like, it's almost like you hold a secret that could actually get through to this emanation. Like you inside yourself hold some kind of a secret that would help with his imbalance, okay? So I'm going to bring you into the picture and just have you look at him eye to eye, okay? And I'm just pulling him together into a form, but he doesn't like to be whole. He just likes to scatter his energy around and just doesn't like it when I mold him into a human form, a whole human form. I'll just have him stand here in like 4 slices, okay? Is that better? Now you're separated from yourself 4 times. Does that feel better? 5 times? He doesn't like that I'm mocking him. I said, hey, you're the one that told me this. I'm just telling you. I mean, I'm just trying to understand what your comfort zone is. You don't like to be one whole. That's obvious. So maybe you like to be some parts of yourself. This is making him angry. It's making him very angry. He's going to cut my finger off for saying that, for doing that. Say, okay, good. This is what we need to work on here. This is exactly what we need to work on. So now I see you coming in and you're bright. You're actually quite bright. And he's overwhelmed by you. Like he sees you as so beautiful. Like he's entranced by your beauty, okay? And he's like, oh my God, entranced by your beauty. He doesn't know what to make of himself because of you. And his imbalances because of you. And in a weird way, you make him want to be a better man. So here we go. Are you wanting to be her husband? Is that what this is? So we're getting somewhere, okay? You, though, when you stop glowing, you kind of you get really angry, and because you see him for who he is and you see him as what is wrong in this world, and you take literally like a power drill and you start drilling holes into him and telling him how much you hate him, how much you hate what he stands for, hate what he likes, hate what he wants, hate him completely. And you just start drilling holes into him, and you're serious. You are serious. Your eyes are very serious. This is what you deserve. This is what you get now. And I say, okay, this is good. This is actually progress here. You are aware that when you were truly yourself and you were glowing, you were helping him to find the light inside of himself so that he could mend and heal his imbalances. But because you haven't developed something of like an unconditional love or something, you would want him to hurt and suffer in the same way he wants others to hurt and suffer, which isn't actually going to resolve the issue. It's only going to encourage the issue to continue and now drag you right on into it, which you don't want to be connected or attached to that. That's why we need to work through this stuff, talk about this stuff, put it out there, no judgment. Let's start working on these imbalances, right? Now it becomes your imbalance. So you say, I have enough to deal with. I don't need to deal with this. You say, obviously you do. Maybe this is actually going to help you with literally everything in your life. All it takes is just a few minutes to just send light into this being and say, this light will help you. And I am not yours. I'm not your wife. I am not yours. But this light that I can share with you will help you find the answers that you're seeking. This is much better. I love to stick with this for longer, but I will say, what does this have to do with your husband? So we're looking at what's attracted to you, but what does this have to do with your husband? Is this something, let me just see. Doesn't want me to look in that direction. Doesn't want me to go to your husband. Wants it to be about you. It is, but it also is about him too. Is your husband having bad dreams or anything? Is he having a hard time sleeping? Is he... This isn't good, by the way. Because I see the shadow is more connected to him. And it's working through him to be able to have a physical, more access to the physical to connect to you. And it does receive support in a way, but because it is connected to something that is imbalanced in your husband, that is if he isn't able to heal that imbalance, then that imbalance is somehow connected to this entity. And now this entity then remains in a state of imbalance because of the connection. Now then is, though, drawn to you, working through him to get to you. So what you need to do is give your husband hugs and talk to him about maybe there's something that he's going through on the inside that he's trying to work through. And maybe it's time for communication about any hardships that he's going through. If he's having bad dreams, if he's not sleeping good, what are his vulnerabilities? And I think this is actually going to help him mend and heal and even bring you closer together. And that is how you truly release this entity, but we've already put light into it that is going to help it as well. It's a complicated matter. Thank you so much for this experience. Boy, I really appreciate the opportunity to take a look at this and to share this with others, because it's quite enlightening, to see what's going on in the, in the spirit realm and how that connects to us and each other and gets through to us in different ways and why that happens, Thank you. Thank you everybody for watching, and I wish you all a very wonderful rest of your day.